class. I'm looking forward to working with you this semester, and I just wanted to show you some of the materials and kind of the pattern to way I've laid out your instructional journey. So if you, since it's a fully online class, the start here is your orientation to being a fully online student, and that's very similar in all your online classes, so that's not unique to this class. It talks about using ProctorU, but we will be proctored face-to-face for the final exam, so there won't be any need for ProctorU. So that's kind of canned material in there. Then of course the syllabus is here, and you can have a look at that. And then under practice exams, you have a practice exam and a practice exam key for the first and second exams, and then you have an additional small practice exam for the not-for-profit, so that you will have practice on all the topics before you come to your cumulative final exam, because there's not an exam that includes the not-for-profit, so it's its own little practice exam. In the practice exam folder, you will also have handouts, which I haven't created yet for you, but will be doing, that you'll print out and have in front of you, so that when the exam starts, you'll already have the data in front of you and you won't have to copy the data off the screen. So be sure to come and get those here prior to launching the exam. And then all of your chapter folders are going to have a certain pattern to them. So here, what you see is you start off with the lecture, and so the lectures are typically in voice over PowerPoint. So that means that you download the PowerPoint to your machine, to whatever folder you're using for this class. Then you open it and you start the PowerPoint presentation in PowerPoint mode. So if you're just reviewing the slides, the narration won't start. You actually have to start the formal slideshow, and then you'll start hearing my voice. You'll have to click the forward to the next screen when you're done with that one. So it doesn't force you, if you want to review a screen for a little while, it doesn't force you to move forward. You move forward at whatever speed is good for you. All right, so you have a lecture, and then there's just some notes that I've made in Word about the topic. So you have those as well. Of course, anything on those notes is testable. Then you have your class activities. And so here's the handout for the first class activity, Russell Thacker. Here's the handout for the second one, handout for the third one, and then here's the solution for your homework. Excuse me, that was fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, can't count here. Here are the solutions for your homework. So the pattern is you watch the lecture, you review the notes, you read the chapter, then you have 5 class activities that we would have done together if we were face-to-face, but you're going to do them on your own. And when you open up the class activities, they're in Excel. You'll see here that there's a link that the walkthrough of the class activity can be viewed. So first, you want to try them on your own. Some of them you'll be able to do, some you may not be able to do, or you may get halfway through and may get stuck. But try as much as you can on your own, and then go watch the walkthrough. And during the walkthrough, you can always freeze them as soon as you get a clue to, oh, that's where you got stuck. Freeze it, and then try to finish on your own. So you want to try to be able to do as much of it without guidance as possible. But all of your class activities have walkthroughs just like we would do in class together. All right, so I think that covers everything. Let me mention, not so much in chapter 1, but as we get into consolidations, your author offers you templates. You can see here Excel templates, and you are welcome to use those for using your homework. You're going to fill in the little grid here, as you can see. So if you like, especially these, it's nice to have a nice layout like that. If you want to do it in Excel, I do encourage you to use Excel. It's really great to work on your Excel skills. It will tell you if it's correct or incorrect, but not how to do it. So you may have to go back to the actual homework solutions for that. This class goes at a pretty quick pace. So I'm sending you the syllabus that has links to this discussion and also the class activities, so that you can, if you wish, get a jump start on it. If you look under here, you can see the quizzes. And there's a quiz for each of the chapters. There's a couple of surveys here that you are welcome to participate in for a couple of bonus points. They tell me about your study habits and your learning approaches, but don't have anything to do with accounting, so you don't have to study or prepare for those at all. They just take a minute or two. And then you see the quizzes. In here, you're also going to see, as soon as I finish with it, Test 1 and Test 2, and they'll be available in this series as well. And this is where you would come to take your Test 1 and Test 2. Your final exam is proctored on the campus in Macon or at a separate location that you and I agreed to if you're not local to Macon. You can see exam 1 here. It's not available to you yet because it's still in process. And then there's a couple surveys at the end of the semester. So this is also where you come to see your grades. Okay, so you can come and see those anytime. And I do encourage you to set up your alerts. So under your profile here, you see notifications. And so you indicate what email, and it doesn't have to be your MGA email, and then your phone. This is my text, my cell phone, and then you indicate how you want to be notified, and it can be both on all these things. Please set up your alerts for announcements in case there's any kind of a problem, and also indicate how to be notified when grades have been posted so that you can immediately get feedback on that and also ask any questions that you may have. The announcements are always here. They don't disappear, so if you want to go back and look at a prior announcement, you certainly can do that. So you can see all the various units that we're going to have to go through, and they all have a similar pattern. There's a lecture, and then there's a set of brief outline notes, and then there's class activities, then there's homework, and then there's a quiz. And that starts off easy and then gets medium and then gets harder. Let me also mention that what's in the lecture and what's in the class activities and what's in the quiz and what's in the exams don't look like each other. That I'm constantly changing the appearance and the fact patterns so that you're not memorizing and giving me back something memorized, but you're beginning to get the concepts at a mental model level, so that no matter how the data is spun out to you, you can populate your mental model and you can move forward without it having to look like something you've already seen. So in order to prepare your brain for that, I give you a constant stream of things that don't look quite like the last one. So even the class activities, number 2 doesn't look like number 1, and number 3 doesn't look like number 1 and 2. So you don't get into that habit. The other thing you'll notice from time to time is you get extra data that you don't need. And that's the most realistic scenario for when you get out in the field, because of course in the field you have all kinds of data and nobody really curates. So let me give you only the 6 pieces of data you're going to need to solve a problem. That's not a realistic concept. So you have to know better how to do something in order to recognize what you do need and what you don't need to move forward with that problem. So just heads up there. Anyway. Please let me know if you have any questions about this, and I'm looking forward to the class.